At around 1 p.m., a police patrol car, a drone van, a prison van, and another vehicle arrived at Masaka court. The small car carried NUP President Robert Kyagulanyi's bodyguard, Eddie Ssebuwufu, also known as Eddie Mutwe. He was escorted by both uniformed and plainclothes security personnel. Ssebuwufu, limping and supported by two people, was led into court cells at Masaka Magistrate's court. The atmosphere was tense. Journalists were barred from accessing the court. Even his lawyers were initially prevented from accessing their client.
It has been very pathetic and very annoying until when we had to contact the Uganda Law Society leaders to allow me and my colleague to enter court. By the time we entered the court, we found Eddie Mutwe being arraigned before His Worship Abdallah Kaiza, Grade 1 Magistrate.
When he finally appeared before Magistrate Abdallah Kaiza, the prosecution led by Michael Wegosasa alleged that on May 18, 2024, at Manja village, stated that Ssebuwufu had forcefully stolen journalists' property, injuring cameras and others, damaging their equipment. Ssebuwufu did not take charge as the matter can only be tried in the High Court. He was instead remanded to Masaka prison until 25th of May, when the matter will be mentioned.
Those are the same charges which were preferred against Akileo Chivumbi, Wakabi and Gaddafi. The same charges of simple robbery and aggravated robbery, which allegedly occurred at Manja village in Rwengo district. This is a case which was initiated by a certain section of journalists in Masaka.
NUP leaders in Masaka expressed concern over Ssebuwufu's health, saying he was in need of urgent attention by medical professionals.
The gentleman is actually in a very pathetic situation. Mr. Edward Ssebuwufu has been over-tortured. For all the days he has been in detention, in the illegal detention, he was tortured every day. He has told me and my colleague that he was tortured every day 5 times, and they were beating him using solidors, these wires of electricity. They were electrocuting him, they were squeezing him, including his private parts. He's in great pain. He has not been receiving medication. He has not accessed any doctor up to now.
We chose to proceed to the prison, to go to the prison, Masaka main prison. When we got there, no sooner had we settled in than we saw the situation change. Prisoners were being counted, but it was halted. We saw the prison bus being driven out at a very high speed, and later, few minutes later, we saw Comrade Eddie Mutwe being brought in, being carried by the prison officers in a very worrying state. He was really, he couldn't stand on his own.
NUP supporters also criticized the security forces for the treatment of their people to the extent of preventing the public from accessing the court.
We have requested the magistrate. He has allowed us to take this gentleman to a serious medical facility, and right now we are following with the prison authorities to take him to Masaka Regional Referral Hospital.
Ssebuwufu was reportedly abducted by security operatives in Mukono district on April 27, 2025, and his whereabouts remained unknown for days until Chief of Defense Forces Muhoozi Kainerugaba admitted last week he was holding him in his basement. Ssebuwufu joins Kyagulanyi's other bodyguards, Akileo Chivumbi, Mugumya Gaddafi and Grace Wakabi, also known as Bobby Wine's Smart, who are also facing charges of aggravated assault and robbery. Before this, the Katikiro of Buganda Kingdom, Charles Peter Maiga, condemned the recent spate of kidnappings and urged the government to immediately address the issue. He cited the recent detention of NUP President Robert Kyagulanyi's bodyguard, Eddie Mutwe, whose release he called for in a statement. As this was going on, FDC Katonga faction President Elias Lukwago also demanded Ssebuwufu's release and challenged the Uganda Human Rights Commission chairperson Mariam Wangadia to summon and hold General Muhoozi Kainerugaba in contempt for defying a previous order to release Ssebuwufu.
I have read this, the power of the Commission. In the performance of its function, the Commission shall have the powers of a court and to commit a person for contempt of its orders. We demand now that Muhoozi Kainerugaba has defied flagrantly, obudurately, stubbornly, recalcitrantly this particular order.
Lukwago called for a similar order to be issued for other political prisoners who have stayed in detention without trial for years.
Upon Justice Wangadia and her team at the Commission to invoke the same provision, extend this order to cover all political prisoners.
Over the past days, there has been a heated debate on social media regarding the manner in which many of them are detained. Norbert Atkunda, NTV News.